Welcome back to Hotspot Rides. Today we're gonna check up on 2026 Verona Motorbike Expo, which lasted from 23rd to 26th of January this year. So a week ago, I'm sorry guys, I'm a little bit late with the video, had a lot going on. But let's check the event, what was going on there, what did I like, what was special about it and different, or let's say from Milano where I was last year. So it was actually an outdoor and indoor event, just like in Milano, a little bit smaller, but still one day was barely sufficient to really take a look of everything they offered. It was 12 halls and outdoor event where there were like buggies and there was a Red Bull polygon and we saw some wheelies being made even though it was raining, so I spent the majority of my time indoors. But there was also Ducati test ride possibility, however you needed to have Italian license, which sadly last time I checked I didn't have it, so I couldn't test ride anything. But yeah, I'm still looking forward to test ride that Ducati, looking forward to that one. So anyways, first of all, gotta start with the fact that I was really impressed how strong the motorbike community in Italy is. Like they have so many motorbike clubs, like bikers, and it shows it's so powerful that they actually had their own dedicated line. Ask me how I know, because I stepped in it for 10 minutes and then learned I had to go to the other line. But they said, okay, look, you waited, it's fine. That was right off the bat something interesting. But yeah, so those bikers also had the first two halls dedicated to them. So they actually had some so-called Metzger championship where they presented their creations, the crazy creations. Some of them had the wildest names. The most interesting was TT Twister, and then there was like a Golden Hayabusa with Emirati Arab Unity and a shotgun. This Golden Hayabusa was really popping out. It was crazy to look at. I really took time to film it, so you are watching it right now. It's crazy, and you cannot really, it looked much better in person than on this video. But yeah, Hayabusa, it's the perfect beginner bike, by the way, not. But there were also quite a few cars they actually sold there. I was a little bit confused, but like not many, but they were like Thunderbird, Ford 950, GTO, a surf van was very cool, and Chevy Impala, and you could actually get those cars for around about 60,000 euros. So that's something interesting. If you're looking for a car, you can also visit an event such as this. Then I was quite surprised. Moving on to the fourth hall, there was like a wild transition. It was like I came to the other fair. It was filled marketplace, full-blown marketplace, like filled with everything you wanted about biking. Like they had chains, charms, helmets. Some of them really were designer helmets, and I was actually checking them out a bit to purchase. You could buy socks, of course many leather products such as gloves, wallets, patches, also bags, motorbike bags, leather jackets, heavy. Some of them were crazy high quality, and I had to fight the urge not to purchase it. I don't need it, but they were cool. And also, of course, full leather suits. And yeah, motorbike parts, a lot of motorbike parts. You had rims, exhausts, lamps, all kind of chrome parts, and even seats and forks. So like the whole front suspension of the bike. They were quite expensive, but you come there and you have a custom bike. You can really find any piece, anything you need for that specific bike. So that was quite interesting. Anyways, moving on, there were more custom builds later on and mods, which were quite often based on BMW, specifically R9T, and they were the best looking builds in my opinion. They're really beautiful builds, and I would have one in a heartbeat, although I haven't really tried Boxer engine before, but I heard they're pretty smooth. So if there's any Boxer engine enthusiasts in my channel, let me know how it is, how do you like it. If you have it, I would also like to test drive something like this in the near future. Of course, there were also some Harley-Davidson builds. One really stood out with full aluminum fairings. There were like so many builds, Ducatis, Yamahas, Hondas, and they were special and unique on each of their own way. And I could stay there and film. If I filmed every one of them, I would need 2-3 days at least. So there were also like, those were like custom bikes that a single person made, or maybe 2 or 3 people. But there was also like a very interesting company called Dotto Creations, and they actually made and showcased 2 of their limited edition models called Biancaneve and Handyman. The second one was much easier for me, but yeah, they really caught my eye because it's like they were both limited edition bikes. So the Biancaneve had 20 limited examples, and it is based on a Honda CBX 500, I think, from 1979. And they actually stripped down the original bike. All the heaviest parts that were not needed were replaced with 3D printing technology. And they introduced this sleek body design with retractable seat cover. So it looks like an art even when you're not riding it. And it is also filled with quirks and features like writing on the brake discs, or like integrated writings on the radiator fairing. And there was like quirk and feature everywhere around the bike. The philosophy of this company is that if you own this bike, you will always find something new about it. So that's pretty cool, and I really liked that philosophy. And the other one was Handyman, which was based on Ducati Desert X. So it's an enduro bike. The specialty about this one is mainly that it's only limited to 10 examples, and it actually has a setting, patented setting, to adjust the balance. So whether you're riding it uphill or you want to have more aerodynamics, you can adjust that. Moving on, there was also like a tuned Piaggio 8 with custom sound system, and I really had to take a seat in it, and I call it an Aura van. It was 20,000 euros, but you know, how much is Aura generator worth? But yeah, there were also like many artists. They were painting at the spot, like helmets, fenders, sketches, and of course paintings themselves. One of them was making the Dysplexy table with an art. I didn't manage to film it. I will put it if it is, otherwise not. And they were pretty relaxing to observe and take a snack in the meantime, while, you know, taking a break while observing all the stuff. And there were also like many aftermarket engineering, serious engineering CNC firms, like offering customizable CNC machined parts for your existing motorcycles, enabling you to personalize your existing bike. And it was showcased on this Harvey with golden tones. So you can see it's like they changed, so leg, the upper part of the motorbike, like everything that's gold can be changed. So you can really create your own motorbike out of an existing one and make a unique and interesting specs out of the existing one. So you had those providers. There were like suspension providers such as Öhlins. They were there. There were exhaust aftermarket producers such as Aero, Massa, Krapovic, Miu, SC, and QD was new for me, which is quite interesting. And yeah, Mass actually also displayed their Pagani Huayra full titanium exhaust, and I touched it. It was nice to see something like that in person again. It was also in Milano, but this time I touched it. So. Oh yeah, and by the way, the thing that impressed me the most was actually those arts those exhaust manufacturers created. They created so many of those lamps from exhaust systems, and it was really beautiful. And it is my favorite thing. I filmed some people, I apologize to them, but those lamps were so crazy, I had to take time and film them as well. Yeah, and of course there were also the main gear providers for helmets such as AGV, RI, Ruit also had some gear there. So, and you could also purchase like chip tuning. So you can really do a lot. If you own a bike, you can like customize CNC parts. You can do the chip tuning. The Deep Sport was the chip tuner. You could also, you set an exhaust, you can modify the specs. So it was a really interesting fair. Oh yeah, and there were women as well, so there's some shots, you know, if you wanted to see what you missed. Of course, there was also the main dish, and the big names were present, such as Yamaha, Kawasaki, Suzuki, Aprilia, BMW, Moto Guzzi, KTM, Husqvarna, Harley-Davidson, CF Moto, Benelli. And there was also a brand I haven't seen before. I believe it's Italian. I didn't take a lot of time, but it's Morbidelli. I will check them a little bit more. I wonder if they will also come to Slovenia. And yeah, there were also QJ Motor and Benda, which shows how serious the Chinese players are to penetrate the European market. So like Milano is the biggest event, Verona is a little bit smaller, and if they are also here, it shows how serious they are, I guess, and how much they want to sell their product. But yeah, the models were pretty much identical to the ones in the bigger Milano fair, but we had a chance to check the BMW Titan from a little bit closer, also with some specs. So it's a sprinter racer with 1300cc dual piston boxer engine, and it shoots you to 100 kilometers in 2.5 seconds, waiting at around 200 kilometers and a top speed of 280. You should get sub 10 seconds for a quarter mile. And yeah, the power wasn't disclosed though, so it's enough, I guess, 150 horsepower, something like that. I'm not sure, it has nitro though. But yeah, the amount of carbon fiber was pretty impressive. Not as impressive as this Aprilia scooter though, full carbon, crazy. That really took my eye. Speaking of scooters, there was also a competition for the wildest scooter mod, for which I did not have enough time to stick and to learn who the winner was, but I did fight to film the best of them, or at least all of them, not all of them, but most of them. It was pretty hard because there were so many people, but we made it. It was also funny and nostalgic to see Piaggio Ciao tuner. So we used to ride those back in my primary school. I had a friend and he purchased it without his father knowing, and he wasn't allowed to have it at home, so he said, okay, you can have it, but it's mine. Sure. So then I had it and I protected it and we hid it from his father, and it was so funny and we rode it so much, and yeah, that was cool. But it was interesting concept to see how much you can upgrade it, because we also were thinking to do it, but we didn't. Of course, you need money to purchase parts, and we didn't have that back then. We only had enough for gas and the mixture, and there's also a funny story, but I will not share it now. But yeah, you could purchase rims, exhausts, braking systems, suspension and stability dampers for those chows. Something I would love to do back then. So then I got a little bit tired and I decided to stop at the cafe, and there was a very interesting concept. So there were motorbikes set all across the room, and then there were tables, small circular tables. You took your coffee, you came to the table, there was a group of guys, you just joined them, and then you drank your beer or coffee and watched the motorcycle that was presented next to the table. And then you could go to the other one and discuss it. And that's a very interesting concept. It could be interesting to introduce something like that in Slovenia. At least starting with one. Try not to get any fights. A lot of testosterone on one spot. That should be interesting. But yeah, there was also a guy who had a container solution, like a man cave. And the idea was you put this container somewhere far away from people. You ride to this container with your motorcycle. And then this container has a small motorcycle garage, and then a small kitchen, a room for storage, and then also a third of the container was dedicated for the living room. So a couch and a TV, that's it, man's cave, you sleep on the couch. So very interesting concept. Moving on, there was also a lot of vendors offering motorbike experiences for all across the world. You could go from Argentina volcano all the way to Africa Saqqara dunes, right? And there were sellers offering papers and prospectus, while some guy even threw a sand onto the stall and onto the floor to really get this experience. That was very funny to me. But if you have a motorbike, it's a place you want to go. You can modify your bike, you can see the new ones, you can get experience, you can buy extra tools that help you get away from your wife and kids, and it's the whole package. So it was really great fair, and it contained anything you want to have. From that department, it was a must-see, in my opinion, even better than Milano. Milano was more serious. You present your bikes, your concepts and ideas, crema alla crema, you know. But here it was really more friendly and more like human-orientated, if I can say it like this. Also, the solutions near the motorbike were presented there. And even if you have no idea, I just purchased a motorcycle, or I don't know if I should, you come there and you see all the possibilities, what you could do if you own a motorcycle. So this is very cool. So even if you have a friend and you want to get him into motorsports or motorbike rides, just bring him with you. He will eat something, drink something, get an idea, and you got him. If you weren't all about the motorbikes, there was like also speedboats presented, and it was really cool to see like the stripped down engine. They had opened, the opened engine, you could see the engine. It was really cool to see it. And what a machine, I gotta say. I didn't spend a lot of time there, but they were like really on the way when I was walking. Yeah, and there was also like a firm, and they had this wheelie machine, and I was really hoping, okay, this is my thing, I'm gonna try now, I'm gonna learn how to do a wheelie. But sadly it was only allowed for the staff to show it to us potential customers, because it was like a trailer solution for your car. And I think it's very cool, but maybe I will buy something like that one day to learn something completely irresponsible. Let's see. Of course, there were some mini motos, gaming rooms, and also a racing school. Tutto Pasi per la pista. And they had 3 MV Agustas, F4s, I think, 800cc. And I had to take a seat on one, or basically all 3 of them, I don't remember now. Anyways, the guy came to me and he said, okay, you took a seat, but now you have to purchase a package to learn in our driving school. I was like, okay, maybe next time, sorry man, what are the prices though? And he said that it ranges, they have like the racetracks all across Italy, so the price ranges from 400 to 800 euros per day. Half of that is actually the usage of the racetrack. So if you only want to learn, you can skip that part. But to go check them out. I think they have interesting concept if you want to improve, or if you want to get your child or kid into that sport. It's very interesting. Even me, maybe I will do one day something with them. They will show me, teach me, I will record it. If you're interested into something like that, let me know in the comments, or like the video, stuff like that. I would actually go and try racing also. Let's see. And that was mainly the event. I think I took the main spots. Don't want to make this video too long. I had a blast. It was really nice experience. I mean, the weather was a little bit sour, but we made the best out of it, and it was really nice. And I would advise you to go there, especially if you live near the North Italy. It's a must-see event, and you will have a blast. You will be there with people who love this really genuinely, and you can see the spark in their eyes, and they are really friendly people. I had the blast anyways, so go check it. Thank you for watching, guys. Stay tuned. Let me know, like and subscribe.